Hey guys, it's Birdie205 from Birdie Plays, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today we're going to be doing something a bit different. We're going to be reviewing Turbo Kart, which is pretty much, I'm going to starting a new series on my channel, which is reviewing mini games. And I'm starting with Turbo Kart, which is a new game, which is on Hypixel, which is pretty much if you take Mario Kart and mix it with Minecraft. So that's what it is. So we're judging it on 8 categories and then an overall category. So yeah, and let's hop into it. So our first category we're gonna do is maps. So yeah, there is 5 maps on Turbo Kart, and I feel like all of them are pretty solid, but they get boring after a while. And a lot of them are really confusing, like you don't know which way to go, and some of them, to be honest, don't look that nice. They're cool designs, but I don't know, they may have went a little too far. So the maps are Retro Raceway, Canyon, Jungle Rush, Olympus, and Hypixel GP. My favorite is probably Retro, but I don't know. It's still not the best. So I'm going to give the maps category a 5. I know that Hypixel could possibly have a new patch to Turbo Kart that adds new maps, but I feel like if they wanted to really improve that score, they would have to be outstanding maps. Like, the 5 maps they already have are solid, like I said, but I think that they should add really, really good maps, and then that could possibly get it to like a 9.5, but not a 10 because the 5 maps they have aren't good. They could possibly update those. So yeah, if they just added like the same quality maps they have right now, but with the new 5, then it would probably just stay at a 7. So our next category is their carts. So they have 15 carts, which all of them look like really good. But my pet peeve with the carts is they don't do that much. They look cool, but what I think they could do possibly is like make you go faster, not crazily fast, or like it would be a balance effect. So if it makes you go faster and it makes you turn worse. I know it's confusing, but yeah, that's what I think should happen. And I think they should have a little more variety. A lot of them seem like the same, but a different color or like slightly different models. Maybe like, I don't know, like different places where, they fly from, or the engines. I know they have them all in the back, but I think it would be cool like on the front. So yeah, that's what I think. So the carts category is getting a 6. The next category is controls. So here's the thing with controls. You use A and D to turn, which I don't really get why. It's like kind of hard, especially playing Minecraft for such a long time. You're used to turning with the mouse, so why don't do that? And there's a lot of turns on all these maps. And then you have to hold W to go, which I get they're trying to make it like Mario Kart, but I think you should just go automatically. In my opinion, you can just hold the button to brake. And then the controls are super hard at first. Eventually you get used to them. That takes a while. So yeah, I think that they should change it to the mouse, or maybe an option if people like the A and D turning better. But you can turn with the mouse, but you turn just your body. You don't turn the cart. So why can't they just make it turn the cart also? So I get that they maybe want you to throw an item behind you, but maybe they can just incorporate some other control into that so you don't have to turn behind while your cart's still going forward in an opposite direction. It doesn't get all confusing. And the controls will be so much easier. So the controls is getting a 4. So our next category is builds. So the builds are really good on this thing. I feel like sometimes they use not appropriate blocks. Like I feel like they could have used better blocks, but the builds look really good, and especially with the custom racers pack, they look really good. So the builds is getting a 9, and the only reason it's not getting a 10 is because I feel like sometimes they could have used better blocks. So our next category is textures. So they have a whole art team that worked on the textures on this mini game, and I feel like they did a very good job. They even work with Sphax, as you can see in some of the textures. They kind of look like they came from Sphaxcraft, and Sphax did help them a little bit, which according to their blog apparently. So my only problem with the textures is when you're in your car, a lot of times the window will glitch out, And I know it's a small thing, but sometimes for me, it's really annoying. So the textures is also getting a 9. Our next category is the shop. So the shop's very good. It's easy to navigate, but it's quite expensive. Meaning that I understand on shops things are going to be expensive, but like just simple items. Like just have one item cheap so people that are new to the game can at least buy something. And I feel like that's what really is bad about the shop. Also, well, parts of it are confusing, like the customizer vehicle thingy macabre, but whatever. That's confusing, and well, for me at least it was. So I'm giving the shop a 7. I feel like they could do a few things better. Our next category is fun. Like, is the game fun? And I found it a very fun game. Just the controls and the lack of boringness throughout the maps and things I talked about earlier throughout other categories does take away from the fun. But not that much. It's still very fresh every time, so that's why I'm giving the fun category a 9. Our second to final category is bugs. And there's not that many bugs in the game, except like glitching through walls and stuff, but it doesn't take away from the gameplay that much. And if you're good at the game, you're never going to glitch through the walls because you're never going to have to go through the walls because you're going to make the turns. So that's why the bugs category is getting a 9. So before I release the final score of the final category, just consider if you did happen anything that could be better or things that you think could be better, please comment down below because I'm going to be doing more of these reviews and I want to make them better. If I made any mistakes, I want to learn from my mistakes. So if I'm not aware of my mistakes, then they won't fix. So please comment down below and I will read every single comment. Also comment down below other mini games you want to see me review and list categories I could do for those mini games. Like for this review, I was thinking of doing like a soundtrack category because there is quite a bit of music in there, but I decided not to. So yeah, on to the overall score. After I did all the math, it turned out to be a 7.25, which is 7 1/4, and that's a pretty solid score. It's not the best, but it's a pretty solid score. So there's definitely some things Hypixel needs to work on, and I think there's a lot of room for improvement on this game. They could add a bunch of patches that make the game better. I think there's a lot of potential that one day it could be a 9 with better maps and better stuff and whatever. But if they wanted to make it a 10, they would have to completely change a lot of the gameplay mechanics. They worked a lot of hours and time spent into the coding and other art styles and building and stuff like that. But I think it's always a possibility that it could become a 10 one day. But for now, it's 7.25. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And subscribe, like, and comment, and do all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.